Recruiter here to review your resumes, and the resume we have up first is garbage. And I know that because they tell me how many applications it takes them to get an interview, and it is a lot. It takes them over 150 applications to get an interview. So this is a software engineer, and this is a bad resume. So let me explain why it's bad. The first thing is they said backend. Cool. You know, there are more backends than just backend. There's backend Java, backend Python, backend C#.net. And as a fresher, which is what this person said, they said, I'm a fresher, good in DSA, which I don't even know what that is, and built a ton of projects, full stack and low level like DBs. Cool. Doesn't matter. So this is a fresher. And if you're a fresher and you're applying to jobs, pick a stack. This is the best advice I can give you for freshers is pick a stack. Tailor your resume to Java or Python or C#.net or full stack or front end. Pick one of those 5. Are those the only stacks ever? No, obviously not. But those are the most common and the most likely that you will get a job. So since they did not tell me what stack they are, I think I saw Python out of the corner of my eye. So I'm going to pick a Python one. So I'm going to pretend this is a Python one. This is the best I can do. And what we need for a Python backend developer is Python, SQL, any of them, Docker, Cloud, RESTful APIs, or REST APIs, Git, CI/CD. And then it breaks down into either AI and a little bit of AI, like LangGraph, preferably. Multi-agent systems are real hot right now. Or full stack. And for full stack is different than a full stack, because a Python backend full stack is going to be different than a full stack with Python. And all I need is JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and CSS3. So, and then nice to have is Fast API, Flask, or Django. So recruiters and hiring managers only have 20 seconds to find what we need. So can I find this in 20 seconds? No, because it's got 150 to 1. And when people follow my methodologies or methods, they get 1 interview per 7 applications. That's the average they get. If you're going for fully remote roles, it's like a 1 in 30. If you need immigration services, it's a 1 in 100. That's how hard it is to get a job as a person that needs an immigration services. So 20 seconds on the clock. Let's see what I can and cannot find. And go. All right. This doesn't matter. Full stack, but I'm not looking for that. React.js. No. Hot dog. Hot dog for Python. Languages. This is irrelevant. Key value database. No. There we go. Python. Built a custom WireK. No, doesn't matter. And time. This is why you're struggling is this. None of this matters. And I don't mean your projects don't matter. I don't mean you don't matter. I mean how you wrote your resume implies that you are not qualified for the role. So I want you to think of it this way, because I mentioned hot dogs and there are too many hot dogs rather than hamburgers. I want you to imagine that you're hungry. You go to a restaurant and you're like, I'd like a cheeseburger with pickles and just pickles. Cheeseburger with pickles. So they say cheeseburger with pickles. You say a cheeseburger with pickles. So they come back and they bring you a hot dog with cheese and pickles. And they say, here is your cheeseburger. And you say, this is a hot dog. This is not what I wanted. I think there's been some confusion. And they say, no, this is exactly what you asked for. This is a hot dog, and hot dogs have meat like hamburgers. A hot dog has a bun like a hamburger. A hot dog can have cheese and pickles just like a hamburger. So when you said you wanted a cheeseburger with pickles, what you meant was a cheese hot dog with pickles. You would leave without paying because they're gaslighting you, and you would be upset. And that is the exact problem with this is I'm not looking for key value databases. I'm not looking for wire protocols or IO multiplexing or Node.js or Express.js or MongoDB or WebSockets or React.js or 10% through lazy loading. I'm looking for this stuff. And it takes me all the way down here until I find the one thing I'm actually looking for. And now you're about to say, now hold on, Lee, this is horrible. What are you talking about? They have a skills section right here. Every single thing you wanted was here. All the AI, all the Python, all the JavaScript, all the React, all the CSS, all that stuff. It's right there. Cool. We're not looking for keywords. If recruiters and hiring managers were looking for keywords, skills sections would actually have worth, but they don't. Nothing in a skills section counts because we're not looking for keywords. We're looking for qualifications. And a qualification is a keyword, which is what the hiring team needs, plus how you used it, plus the non-technical reasons you used it, plus where you used it. And since a skills section does not show how, the non-technical reasons, or where, it does not count. Because if it was keyword matching, that'd be real easy because we could do it right here. But even this, where it says design and implemented an in-memory key value database in Python, doesn't count because that does not tell me the non-technical reasons that you did it. It's the business reasons that matter. Nobody cares about the 23 OPSEC with 42 milliseconds. And I get plenty of people in here saying, oh, these are phenomenal engineers. How are you doing this? It's not me. It's everybody in the market is telling you that this resume sucks. And that is why. Is because you are so focused on trying to solve this in a technical manner that you lose track of the fact that a resume is not a technical document. Even if you are technical, you cannot solve it by being technical, because there is a myth amongst engineers that you just need to grind harder. You just need to be better and they will see your worth. Nobody will see your worth because you can't show it through a resume. You have to make it basic and boring that shows this stuff for Python. Or if they actually are full stack, remember, they told me back end. What I'm looking for, right? Let me show you what full stack is. If I was looking for full stack, I would want TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, not HTML5 or CSS3 or whatever it was, just that. RESTful APIs or REST APIs, SQL, that's the same as Python, Cloud is the same. Then I want a little bit of backend, React, React.js, Angular, Node.js, Vue.js, DevOps, CI/CD, Agile, Git. But TypeScript means, nope, doesn't matter. It's in the job description. And I'm not being mean, I'm telling you the truth. It does not matter how much you care about it. It doesn't matter how much you think it's important. If it's not in the job description under qualifications, it is not relevant to belong in your resume. And that may be that you get in that job and then you actually do this stuff and that's fine, but it doesn't matter for your resume. And if you start trying to put all this 23 upsects with 42 milliseconds and Laura sentence pieces and hugging face, that one actually counts. Next.js, oh, here's an actually good sentence. Nope, ruined it by saying under 500 milliseconds. You're getting rejected. And this person is getting rejected left and right. And it's because of that. You want, also the formatting is bad, but the bigger problem is the bullet points. You want your resume to look like this. This is how you do it. The link is in below. It should be boring and basic. It doesn't matter how much you care. It matters how much the hiring team cares. And I'm including the technical hiring manager. I do not give advice that is only for recruiters because I think that is bad advice. I give advice for both getting past the hiring manager and the recruiter. And this is what you need to do, is you need to make it simple. You need to pick a stack and you need to get through to your head. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm saying you got to get it through that it doesn't matter how technical you are. There is a minimum viable level of technical knowledge. Once you pass that, it is not a technical problem. You need it to be basic. You need it to be boring, and you need it to be easily understandable to a layman if you want a job. So that's all I can do for this resume before we go to the next resume. I just want to thank everybody for watching. And if you, ever need more help, I live stream this. I do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on YouTube and twitch.tv/headlesshunter. If you join me during the stream, you will be entered for a chance, all free, to get your resume reviewed. That is how people get their resume reviewed by me. And to my members who get access to videos a little bit early, thank you very much for supporting me. I really appreciate it. And thank you. If anybody wants to join, they can join in the link below to be a member. But thank you very much for supporting me, and let's go to the next resume. This one is interesting. This is a fully ChatGPT'd resume that they said in 2 weeks has gotten them 1 interview out of 20 applications, which by my own standard is good. Now, I will say this in regards to this resume is you need more than 20 applications because they've only applied to 20 and gotten 1 interview. It could be they apply to another 500 and get no interviews, or it could be they apply to another 20 and get 5 interviews. So the ratio, we don't know yet. Did they get lucky, or is this some kind of ChatGPT gold? The answer is we're about to find out. So they said specifically Java software developer. So what I need for a Java software developer is Java, Spring, Spring Boot, Maven, SDLC, SQL, RESTful API, REST API, microservices, CI/CD, object-oriented programming, Git, Linux, Unix, Agile, Scrum, Cloud, architecting your systems, Hibernate, Docker, Kubernetes, Kafka, and nice to have all that other stuff. So let's see if this was luck or actually they're onto something. 20 seconds on the clock. And go. Okay, multi-threaded. Garbage, lifecycle, built-in agentic. Okay. Ooh, this one they like. Okay. This is kind of bad. Built a loader. This doesn't matter. Reduced incoming tickets. No. Oh, that part they like. Mentor to generate operation to a team directly cross success. And time. I don't think this is a good Java developer resume, but there are 2 bullet points here that are very good for agentic roles, and agentic roles are hot. So I'm going to ignore everything else because I'm wondering if they're not getting the Java stuff, they're getting it because the agentic ones, because this is actually good. Built an agentic code review pipeline integrating OpenAI Codis with a custom Bitbucket MCP server. This part doesn't matter, but that is something they could like, right? Agentic they love. This doesn't matter. And then this, reduced incoming ticket volume by 35%, by implementing a deduplicative strategy for auto tickets, supporting 2 million active customers. This, for specifically AI startups, is gold. They love to see how many customers, and 2 million active customers is insane. So does this fail as a backend Java developer? Yeah. But for AI roles, depending on if you use like LangGraph versus LangChain, yeah, bro, I might actually have something for you. They would love that. 2 million active customers. Ooh. Mentored 2 junior engineers and improved engineering processes. Again, they like the mentor, but I need a little bit more details. Like, I think this is saving this resume almost entirely. And the fact that you have CI/CD and AWS on the next one. And RESTful API is not terrible. Again, I think you'd have even more success if you switched it to this. And I think if you went a non-agentic type role, I don't think they're going to be interested in you. But this alone, supporting 2 million active customers with a potentially, like, it very much implies that your agentic code review platform supported 2 million. They love that. They love that stuff. So yeah, does this work? Kind of, yes, no. For agentic, yes. For backend Java, pure no. Again, like the bullet points they don't have qualifications in them. They're mostly hot dogs. It's just this right here is, your resume doesn't matter. Like if you put 2 million customers with agentic, so many people would be interested in that. Like almost the rest of it could be entirely blank. And like, let's see. Oh yeah, and you've done it for, scalable. Well, you'd have to show. Doesn't matter. But you also have solid work history. Yeah. This is what's probably this, and agentic is what's getting you the stuff. So I would personally change it to this because I think you should be getting more than 1 in 20. And again, we really have to see over like 100 applications where it is. But that alone is working. Next resume. This is a resume of a Ruby on Rails dev. So there are Ruby on Rails jobs. It's just they're rare. This person is applying to 5 to 10 jobs a week, and you really want to find about 50 jobs a week to apply for. So it's not like I'm saying don't be a Ruby on Rails dev. It's just that the opportunities you have are not as much, but not as many people do it, so your competition is also not as much. They've been unemployed since 2025 April. Very few interviews since. So one of the problems is just there's just not that many of these jobs open. But let's see what I can find in 20 seconds. So 20 seconds on the clock. What we're looking for is Ruby on Rails, degrees, SQL, AI, front end, JS, or full stack. It's kind of all of them. And go. Okay. Don't do that. I need to fix that on my website. Lead upgrades, plural, for large rewards platform from Ember. I don't know why that matters. Improving security. Why? No, do not bury this. Modernize core with Ember engines. Mentor 3. So you've made a giant error here, and you're gonna cry when I mention it. The very first thing though is it should look like this, right? It's not, and I need to fix this. This is on me. It's not work history, projects, internships. It should just be work history, and then that includes internships. And then if you have projects under this, put another one that says projects. That's on me. I need to fix that, and I apologize. The problem is, so you're a Ruby on Rails developer. Where's Ruby on Rails? Because I don't see it here. I don't see it here. Oh, look, it's all the way down here. But you know what they're going to do? They're going to look at this, and they're going to be like, well, it's not anywhere here. And the last time they've had this was over 6 years ago. So it's clear that they don't use Ruby on Rails. And I'm assuming Ember is Ruby on Rails is like the core of Ruby on Rails. Is that correct? Ember Rails. Yeah, that makes, they're not going to know that. I need to see Ruby on Rails in the first one. You know what I don't see in the first one? I don't see SQL. I don't see Ruby on Rails. I do see the full stack. I don't see AI. Maybe you don't have AI. That's okay. But you can't not put Ruby on Rails in a job that is Ruby on Rails based. I am aware that stuff may imply other stuff. Does not matter. They are going to look at this and say, I don't know what Ember is. Declined. And you focus so heavily on Ember that, like, I didn't see it in any job description. I'm sure there's one or two, but you're applying to roles that are very niche. Ruby on Rails are niche and or niche, whatever. And the very first thing they're going to look for is the skill that is in the name, Ruby on Rails. I would rather you just said, used Ruby on Rails to upgrade a large travel rewards platform. Maybe you could say Ember then. Again, I don't know if Ember is actually there. I didn't see it in any. Across a large application, monolithic doesn't really... To improve its performance, security, and velocity. But, like, this also needs to be here. Used Ruby on Rails, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and SQL to X and Y. And then your second and third can be modernized core architecture. And this one's okay. It's just I want to know more than this. This part isn't. The Mentored 3, but Mentored 3 junior engineers in Ruby on Rails. That's fine to double up with that. So this is the problem with this resume is they're not going to get to this part. No one's going to go down here. The gap isn't great, but the gap isn't the problem. The problem is you're applying to a role that specifically asks for a skill, and it's not anywhere in your resume until nearly halfway down. They're going to think that the last time you used Ruby on Rails is 2019, which is tough to sell, even with my format and bullet points. But that's not true. The last time you used Ruby on Rails was April 2025, which is only about a year, which is, while not great, isn't a deal breaker. If it's 2 years, it starts to be a problem. So, yeah, some of these other sentences can be fixed, but you need Ruby on Rails. It should start with Ruby on Rails, especially for something this niche. Like, if you had COBOL, and COBOL was all the way down here where this is, they'd still reject you. COBOL is hot because there's nobody that wants to do COBOL, and the people that do COBOL are paid a lot of money. So, yeah, I need used Ruby on Rails, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, SQL, to blah, 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 blah. And then you can put the rest of it in the other sentences. Because right now, they're not even getting to here. They're counting you off because of this. Because that was 7 years ago, and that is a very long time in job searching. This is not a deal breaker. This is. Next resume. This is a resume, obviously, of a cybersecurity analyst. We need degree, industry, clearance. Also, just letting everybody know this is for the U.S. I have to do everything as if it was in the U.S. I have gotten people jobs outside the U.S., like globally. I think I've gotten people jobs in everywhere but Antarctica, because I've gotten people jobs in Canada, Mexico, Africa, the EU, a lot of places in the EU, the UK, and I believe Singapore as well. So it's everywhere. But I do have to judge this as if they were in the US, and sometimes some of the stuff is going to be a little bit different, but should be close enough for you to get a role. So we need degree, industry, clearances. There's so many. You don't need all of them, just some preferably. Certifications, CompTIA, the rest of those. OSCCP, which I think I wrote incorrectly. I think it's OSCP. GIAC, Python, SEM tools, threat detection, incident response, can communicate security risk clearly to non-technical stakeholders. Your resume needs to show that you can talk to people that don't know what they're talking about and get them to stop committing security breaches, which is going to be most of your day. And then extra credit for MITR attack and cloud. This person has a 1 in 75, but it is in Brazil where I think there are less jobs. So I think that's probably the equivalent of maybe a 1 in 100. But let's see what it is. So 20 seconds on the clock. What did they say? Improving my resume in general. All right. So 20 seconds on the clock. And good. All right. This doesn't count. Certs. These should all be on one line, but they are good. Education. This doesn't... Whoop, that was too much. This doesn't matter. And strengthen organizational resilience through... means nothing. Drove collaboration through... Nope, don't care. Manage scalable, don't care. Because that's cloud... Wait, why did you lead with cloud engineering? That's not relevant to this. There's nothing there that I could use. Okay, let's look down to here to see if this is it. Performed in the Security Operations Center, SOC. Helping secure company market cap. Again, I don't care about your market cap. Monitored security events and alerts using SEM. Good. And maybe some of those are good, but at least CM is good. In the NIST can be one of those. So, in MITR. So, here's my problem with this is, again, this does not count, right? Like, skill sections don't count. Summaries don't count. Certs, not bad. Again, what I want you to do is your education up here. So this is your degree, and it should be one line. Oh, I see what you did. Bachelor's of Computer Science. Wait, you got an associate's in cyber defense, but you've already gotten a bachelor's in computer science. This probably won't matter until you graduate. So unless that's a Brazil specific thing. So put your bachelor's here on one line, then put CS 200, 300, AB 730, and then this doesn't matter. Sorry, so okay, there's a lot here. So education first, then your CompTIA, and then combine the other three. That'll save you space. And then here you have to delete this. But like, why do I have to go all the way down here and to find my first good sentence? And I want to be clear. This is a good sentence. This is a very good sentence. I like this. No one's going to scroll this far down to get to it. In fact, the one below that is also nice. This should be your lead sentence. This should be up front. This is what you lead with. Monitored security events and alerts. Perfect. Using SEM tools. Great. And NIST, which can be useful. Incident responses, which is what I'm looking for. And MITR attack frameworks. That is almost everything I need. And you bury it all the way down there. This should be your first sentence. I don't know if you need EDR and XDR. And you really do want to double check on NIST. And CrowdStrike, Flunk, Splunk, and Microsoft Sentinel, probably not. But the rest of that sentence is fine. And I need you to lead with it. And I need you to write every other sentence like that. Because this is well, this is good. It's just hard to read because there's so much of it. This is all junk. This doesn't matter. Only the bachelor's does, and people may miss it. And then none of this actually matters. Like, why does that matter that you were a cloud engineer? We care about this one. So make those changes. Make the rest of them like this. Because, again, this is a really good bullet point. This alone will get you interviews. This bullet point alone. And I almost didn't even see it. So, next resume. This is another accountant. So we know what we need. Degree, CPA, Excel, blah, blah, blah. We got that. So let's see if we can find it. This person stated, I think this is their newer one, so they haven't fully done this, is 1,800 apps, 20 to 25 screenings, which is, that's math, divided by 25. That's 1 to 72. So that is a 1 to 72 ratio, which is not the worst, right? That's not great. That's like a D+. So there are going to be things that we can do to fix this, which I hope they fixed after last time. But it's not the worst thing ever. That's 1 in 72, especially I think they have a pretty big career break. So let's find out. And what am I doing? 20 seconds on the clock. My brain has stopped. This is why I need sleep. All right, 20 seconds on the clock. And let me actually look at there again because I need to double check. All right, cool. Go. All right, good. That explains that. Supervised teams performing financial risk and audits, planning, uphold compliance. That should be in the first part. The most important part is in the back end. Why? Review general ledger activity journal from ERP. Is ERP something I really want? Using Excel, good. Examining revenue, reconciliation, various trends and anomalies. That's kind of okay. Value controls of SOX, FO104, walkthroughs, detailed. It's still very technical. Again, it's not the worst, but this is pretty technical. Like, what I'm looking for is degree, which you have, CPA, manage multiple projects, gap, but like you fill it with a lot of this stuff, right? Like supervised teams performing risk analysis, assessment and audit planning to uphold gap compliance. Like I'd rather you just make this simpler. Like supervised X teams, because that matters. That's a leadership bullet. You actually want the number for that. Who upheld gap generalized accounting principle. So you want to say first who upheld generalized accounting principles, parentheses, gap compliance, for while coordinating with clients and internal teams. Because using Outlook and MS Teams it's just so long. Like the thing is, this is the most important part. And they're already at the end. I'd rather you just say supervised X teams to uphold generalized accounting principles, gap, for financial risk assessment or for audit planning using Microsoft Office and Outlook, or Microsoft Teams and Outlook, to coordinate with multiple clients and teams weekly. For RX, it's still so bulky. Like I need it to be a little clearer. Review general ledger activity and journal entries from ERP. Again, why is Excel all the way down here? You want to start used Excel to review general ledger activities and journal entries from ERP, to identify trends, identify anomalies, and ensure accurate financial reporting. And again, that's really only one thing I'm looking for. I'd prefer you to, does this need to be 4? I don't think so. I think this could be 3 bullet points. Evaluate internal controls and SOX walkthroughs, attention, operation. Again, is this super what they're looking for? I don't know if it actually is. The general ledger is, because that's up there, but I don't really see that you have multiple projects because you didn't really write it correctly. I don't see that you met deadlines. And these are very wordy. Again, I think you need, remember, the key words, right, need to be in the first half of the first sentence. You can't throw them all the way down here in the corner, because these are the most important part. Financial assessments, audit planning, probably not what's going to get you a job. Maybe audit planning. I've seen 1 or 2 of those that do that, but it's gotta be this. And I don't really see it a lot of the time. So again, I want you to lead with gap. A gap should be in the first 5 words. Then Excel should be in the first 5 words. And then the second bullet point should be Microsoft Teams Outlook to ensure that all deadlines were met successfully across 20 million projects. And then you could have one of SOX. Like, the first one should be Gap and Excel. The second one should be Teams Outlook and multiple projects and deadlines. And then the third one should have everything else. And again, I want to be clear. A 1 in 72 is not the worst resume ever. But, you know, you're fighting an uphill battle because it has been 5 years since you've done this. That's a bit of an issue. The only thing I would put here is if you just graduated with this, then you could put when you graduated, because that makes it look like this is fresh. So if this is within the last 2 years, put the date you graduated with this. They would like that. Otherwise, that is as much as I can do for this resume. So thank you for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, and thank you all very much for, you know, being here. I appreciate it. And if you ever need more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. That is how to get your resume reviewed, be on while I'm on live streaming. And to all of my members, thank you for supporting me. If you want to be a member, you can join in the link below. I just want to say again, thank you very much for supporting me. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next video. Later.